Ray Michael Edmondson sat alone in his cell, counting the hours until midnight. He was 49 years old, and the state had decided he would not see 50. Convicted of first-degree murder for the shooting of a store clerk, Ray had spent years behind bars waiting for this day. 2 eyewitnesses had placed him at the scene, 2 people who swore they saw him pull the trigger, but there was no gun recovered, no fingerprints, no physical evidence at all. His attorney, Lee Calvin, had fought for him at every turn, filing appeal after appeal, convinced deep in his bones that Ray was innocent. But the courts were unmoved. The eyewitness testimony was enough, and now time had run out. On the morning of his execution, the guards came for Ray just as the sun crept through the narrow window of his cell. He was led down a long corridor, his footsteps echoing against cold concrete. The execution chamber waited at the end, sterile and silent. Ray was strapped into the electric chair. The leather bindings were pulled tight across his wrists, his chest, his forehead. The room was filled with witnesses, officials, and the hum of fluorescent lights overhead. The clock on the wall ticked toward 12, and then the lever was dropped. But nothing happened. No surge of electricity, no sound, just silence. The technicians checked the head strap and dropped the lever again. Still nothing. The machine had simply refused to work. Ray was unstrapped and escorted back to his cell, granted a 24-hour reprieve while engineers examined every wire, every circuit, every connection. They found nothing wrong. The system was in perfect working order, yet it had failed at the one moment it was needed most. Fate, it seemed, had accomplished what Lee Calvin could not, and then came the twist that no one saw coming. At the exact same moment the execution had failed, across town a liquor store was being robbed at gunpoint. The man behind the crime bore a remarkable, almost uncanny resemblance to Ray. When police caught the robber, he did more than confess to the hold-up. He admitted to the very murder that Ray had been convicted of. The real killer had been free all along, walking the streets while an innocent man sat on death row. With the true killer's confession in hand, Ray Michael Edmondson was acquitted of all charges. He walked out of prison a free man, blinking in the sunlight he thought he would never see again. It was 2 days before his 50th birthday. Sometimes justice arrives not through the courts, not through evidence or arguments, but through a moment so improbable it can only be called fate.